All I'm saying is that this banner kind of came out of nowhere. The character, all this stuff, man, was just kind of crazy. Kind of reminded me of something like this.
The hell? What? Oh my God!
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash. In today's video, got a whole lot of hip action going on. We'll definitely persuade the balance on whether or not this character is good or not, but just remember that this video is 100% MFO. Now today we're going to be talking about OTARD. She has been a pretty good unit, I think, technically in the meta, even before her little thing. We're going to boost her up to 5-star. We're just going to go straight into these base stats. Let's get it to it. Now, as we can see here, attack is 11 hundo, which is not that bad. Defense 930, not that bad. Hit 101, which is good. Anything above 100, I'm a big fan of. Dodge 92, crit hit, doo-doo. But we know once we go into the actual thing, we'll get a little bit more perspective on that. Block is 60, which is who cares. And attack speed though is 92 a dis, which is where we're swimming. We're gonna be swimming on 92. As you guys know, crit damage, block defense rate, and luck is exactly the same on every single character. So what does this mean? This means that this character will be able to relatively go first, not go first, I should say, go second, because most of the other characters are gonna go first. What that means is that if you do have faster characters that can do some things, as we will discuss, she will be able to really work in the FC version, but we need a little bit more context. So let's go into the let's go into the skills. And you guys know, before we go into the skill, we gotta know this girl is 20 years old. I mean, she's young, but she look kind of good, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love her design. I always thought that her, like, she's like a Native American kind of design. I really always kind of liked it. She's a little nombre for who cares. All right, anyway, she's physical as well. So let's look at this. We can see basic attack. Look at that. She has a lot of power in her swings. It's like she can't really handle, even the little wobble back is like she can't really handle it. She can handle it. She can take it. Anyway, she has the counter too, which is nice, as she does get mana if the target dies. As you guys know, you can increase this with the unlock potential, bring it up to 3 if you need to. She's also Dragon Knight Blessing, which means that she does more damage to the Dragon Scale of Order. If I'm not mistaken, that means the weekdays, the weekday thing, and then the Dragon Knights. The Dragon Hunters, sorry, I'm messing up my words. The Dragon Hunters do more damage pretty much on the weekends. So, and they also added the new buff, the Overtime effect, decreases the enhanced Dragon Fang effect used by the Fire Elemental Dragon of Order by 20%. Pretty much when it's Fire Day, she'll take less damage. Next up is going to be the Brutal Axe, one of my favorite moves. Requires 3 mana for 20. Look at this. Look at its power. Like it's like the crazy momentum kind of swing. And then we have this one, my favorite move. I think it has a really cool animation. The Destructive Blow. It is 5 mana burst and is 285. So a little bit crappier than Bathory, but the same mana requirement. Go up, boom, and it's AoE, which is so cool, like when you see that aspect of it. So all in all, as you guys can see, she's very similar. I think like a slightly dumbed down version of like a Bathory or Sabrina that have a 300% skill, but it's 1 mana. I think that I like the 1 mana thing, big damage for 1 mana, because as you can see, you probably have seen that still will get a kill. 420 in some cases is going to be overkill, and that's what we're going to go and discuss in the fake core version, is that some of this stuff is overkill. One day I should actually do my core memory, you know, that would actually be smart, right? So let's go over to the Awakening and we will look at our girl. Like, I did make a joke, I do find the gloves bad, like they look so crappy, but it's like, I guess she's he needs to hold this different axe a little bit better. So, okay, we can see that she upgrades the counter 3 automatically, which is awesome. So now it's pretty much as long as she counters, she's gonna get mana, which is awesome. She gets the Harbinger of Awakening, which I'll briefly explain real quick. Pretty much once one of your allies die, they're gonna get a mark on them. The mark is Mark of Revenge. If that target is killed or damaged by anyone with Harbinger of Awakening, which is in the same class, the Awakening skill will activate for everyone that has an Awakening skill. So everyone benefits from one of them doing something. Hers is that she gets increased crit hit, same thing as Rachel, and her block is going to be lowered. And then of course she also gets the attack speed by 25, which is pretty cool, and a damage immunity for 4 turns, but that's only when her health dips below 30%. This is a mistake that I was making with Lepin when I was trying to use her in those PvP videos. I think she actually still has to trigger the Awakening skill to have access to that in general. So I think that's where I was making that mistake. I'll do better next time, now that we know. But if you guys noticed, the skills, let's see if there's any difference in the animation. Usually not, but you know, what they do is they usually do like a freeze frame that is slightly different. Like maybe if this is just slightly different. No, that's about the same. Maybe the S3, but these are old school. So I understand why this might not look any different than before, and no, about the same angles, camera angles. Only the new black cores, they like changed the angles and stuff like that. So as you can see here, the brutal axe is now changed to be 525, so a little bit more damage. It was, I think, 420, right? Now it's 525, so it's already doing a lot more damage, and will deal 525% extra damage to target affected with a status effect when the skill hits. So, and then it will remove the status effects. I saw one person that was like, oh, I don't want to remove the stun. It's like, they should be dead. People are dying to 300% skills. 525 should definitely be doing the trick. And also, if there triggers again with another additional hit, yeah, they should be dead. They not only did you remove the stun, you removed the life from the soul. Like, I don't understand how that people can have an issue with that. Now, the same thing here with the destructive blow. It's going to go up to the battery levels, the standard 357, and it's also going to have an additional 357. It's still burst. The extra damage shouldn't scale with burst though. Unless it's really weirdly written like that. We're gonna do a little bit of testing a little bit later in the video. That's why I'm kind of like trying to speed through this, because it's all about how it looks and how it actually works. But same thing, if they have a status effect, then you will be in the money. Now, the only issue here is that you need someone faster than her in order to get those stuns off. She does not have a stun, she has counter, she does not have thrust. If she had thrust, then there would be a little bit of thing. I know she just wanted to go ahead, go your wobble back. Work that shit, baby. She pretty much needs someone else to set her up. She has no way of initiating that herself. That means that this FC is dependent on someone else's, you know, ability or something like that. Someone else's, you know, swag. I don't know. Swag is a terrible word. It sounds so corny. But anyway, I wanted to go here first also to show you guys battle effects, because I think a lot of people might be confused on what a status effect is. I saw a lot of questions. Is this a status effect? Is this a status effect? Is this a status effect? They're right there. Here it is. Anything that's listed under here is a status effect. Freeze, stun, confuse, paralyze, shock, petrify, modification, silence, blind, sleep, and provoke. Those are all status effects. Sleep is the only one that I think that it will actually, or it would pretty much do what her move does. It removes itself once you get hit. So there's only, I think, one character currently that has sleep, and that's Chatty. Freeze, stun, all of these are, outside of modification, modification is for Summer's Blessing, but all of these are pretty much the respective elemental stun version. So I don't know who has just staying stun. I think Light has just stun. Silence, as you guys know, there's a couple of characters that have silence, that can put a silence, like FC Deva. FC Rudley has a silence. I think I'm drawing a blank on every single one, but that's kind of what you'd be looking for as far as like being able to quickly put a debuff on them and then have her then have enough mana to do her S2 at the least. That's 3 mana. So let's go and look at some comparisons here, because honestly, with that being said alone, it kind of what is it, like lowers the pot already. Now, like a lot of people were saying, is that block is really cool because block puts an AoE provoke, which is a status effect. In order for block to trigger, you would have to have Ulam on your team, and then they would have to hurt one of your people. So you're already in a situation where you're pretty much losing in some way, shape, or form, and then it will clap back, and then you'll put all the provokes, and then maybe she'll be able to do, you know, the AoE hit. But she needs 5 mana, plus with the base attack speed that she has, she's not going last. So she's going to go, like I said, she's what we call like a second or third character. Her attack speed is decently high. When you put on some gear, she's gonna get a little bit higher. So she's gonna go after, you know, the Barakas, the Jins, the, you know, Raras. So she's gonna go after that nonsense. Then, you know, if there were crits involved, she might have enough mana to go through and then actually do that one hit. So that's where you're hoping it. But at the same time, if they have Bathory, all you're gonna do is trigger Tranquil. You're just gonna trigger Tranquil, and then that's it. Your big burst or extra damage is not gonna do anything. The other thing that I need to test is the separate damage that she gets in FC, is that blocked? If the first hit was blocked, does the second sort of damage still go through? So there's a lot of testing here, because if that is the case, that actually would make her good. That would actually make her really good, way beyond what I'm talking about right now. The reason why that would be super good, if you guys think about it, so if, let's say, blocking reduces the damage by half, let's just say that, right? So if I'm hitting with 1,000, it reduces that damage by half, and then I'll only do 500, and 500 is doo-doo damage, right? So if I were to hit and it does the damage twice essentially on the S2, then that's going to be 2,000. Instead, it got blocked and it does 1,000. I mean, it does 500, sorry. So if this was to work how I want it to work, right? So it would get blocked, it would do 500, but then the second damage would trigger and then you get that 1000 because it's done differently. That's what we need to test, because if it does that 1000 and in my examples, then it's 1500, which is awesome. But if it reduces the damage twice, then it's only back to the 1000, which is still good, because guess what? You then did the damage that you were going to do initially, so you can't block. This would actually be a counter to block. I just don't know how much of it that it counters to it. So that's actually pretty big. I don't think that anyone has been talking about that as far as like blocking is concerned. That means you can literally throw damage into a unit and it will do the damage that you want, either the same amount of damage or it will still do more damage in a sort of way. So that's kind of really important for this character. Obviously the shortcomings of this is that if a character has status effect immunity, so this is not going to work on rare all too much, which sucks, but we're going to try all that good stuff, and that will be our final deciding factor of whether or not this character is good. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to embrace in the fruits of our labor. So I'm just going to use this PvE stage as a example. I got Ulum in there for, I got a bunch of different ways to set this up. All right, here we go. It doesn't matter. All right, here we go. 5171, 5171. So boom, there it is. Proof is in the pudding. So whatever damage it does, it's just gonna do it again twice. Now we just need to do either a crit or a block, and then we'll be able to see at that point what happens to the first instance of damage and then the second instance of damage. All right, let's pray that this is it. Block or crit. Okay, that gives us our answer though. So as we know, it would duplicate the damage, right? So it seems as though the extra damage does have its own separate trigger. So if the first part of it was regular damage and then the second part was something, that means that both can be blocked, which I said is fine because then it equals the damage that you kind of would have did in the first place. Or, you know, both can crit. One can crit and then the second damage doesn't. So that's really, really, really big. I figure I didn't know that, and I think other people would have loved to know that. So that kind of changes her a little bit. I mean, again, this is only for PvP. Now we know. Now we kind of have an idea of how she could be utilized. And as far as setup, I didn't have too much time setting up. Obviously, I have Iris here, and you know, I'm able to really manipulate my mana per turn. Like, it's something as easy as just having a person that's really slow. Either you have someone that's really slow with a CC. Oh, he dodged it, because that's my life. Alright, so this is the last little bit that I wanted to try, and that is actually going to be the Tranquil test. I want to see if it kills Tranquil. Alright, so this should technically kill. Well, this combo anyway. So we're going to provoke this Ulum. Now we actually can, oh, we can actually do the AoE right now if I really wanted to. All of them are now provoked. But I just want to focus on Ulum because it's a little bit easier to see. There goes a block, and then it goes the second damage, second hit of damage. So like I said, it works exactly how I thought it would. Second hint of damage actually is separate, so it can have its own, it has its own flavor pretty much, which is really, really cool. And I forgot they do synergize with each other. Having the revenge characters, kind of forgot that that's how that works, but pretty cool, right? I think a lot of people thought that was probably interesting, or at least somewhat interesting. All right, let's do a moment of truth. Gonna provoke this guy. As long as he doesn't block the first hit, I should be fine. I just want to know if it works on Tranquil. All right, here we go. This should definitely double kill. So there it is. That's proof. It doesn't go through Tranquil. Now again, it just goes back to that same argument, same issue. Is it practical? I think it is actually practical because block does exist in the game. Also, like I said, if you run a very, 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 very slow person with a CC, so what I did is I run Mahar, so I can do this 5-turn provoke. And since he's slow and she's actually fast, instead of trying to find someone that outspeeds, and she doesn't have the mana really to begin with, so you hope that there's a bunch of crits, and then by turn 2 you go for the kill. This is not that bad also, in my opinion, because of characters like Mahar and Ulum, that you can then easily dispatch them after they do provoke your enemy team. And then, you know, if you get hurt, then it's fine, but at least you have a way to do a status effect pretty reliably. His thing only costs 3 mana. Another couple characters that I would suggest, Furious. I really like her because she has a single target stun for 3 turns. And she also has a big one, not a big one, but she has a stun for 5 turns as well. A lot of these legendaries kind of have like these stuns. Chatty's pretty slow. Like if she's your slowest unit, it's all depends on like it's team comping. Like so you know who's slow and who's not. So like you would pretty much set that up. Oh yeah, and like they said, the OG Bernavis being 72 speed, kind of like is gonna go after her, but you'd have to do like this longer stun, like 5-turn stun, and it has to be timed up, especially as the match goes longer. As I've always said, that's where stuns really like take their toll, because like instead of you losing 1 turn, you lose 2 turns depending on how long the stun is for. That's why I really like Frankie here, because he stuns for 7 turns. He has a 7-turn freeze, and anything of the like, pretty much, guys. That's how you would make it work. Now again, is it worth it? That's kind of up to you. I do like the fact that the second hit of it is it's on its own thing. So if you got blocked the first time, the next bit of damage can still do regular damage, or it could do crit. It could do that. Kind of opens up the ability to not be screwed by RNG in PvP. So I do think that makes it a lot more reliable. But of course, who cares what I think, right? That's MFO. YFO, what do you guys think about this character? Do you guys think that with that explanation, with me showing that to you, does that make it more viable to you? Does it make it more enticing? I think it does. I think it makes it a little bit more, it makes it cooler. it provides you a consistent form of damage, unless you really get screwed over by a double block. I think, you know, that is what it is. But, you know, what is it? There's 3 options, right, that can happen. Either you get blocked, either you do damage, regular damage, I should say, or you crit. So 2 of those options benefit you. So gear sets, I don't know, red? Maybe some red, because her block is already pretty low, you know, so you can just go purple. I don't know, just heal back as much damage as you can, especially if you get that 10,000 proc. You'd heal a pretty fat amount off of that, especially the double hit. You would heal off of that as well, so maybe just go purple. I feel like a lot of damage dealers just go purple, you know. Another really good one would be Machine. As you can see, if this becomes a meta, you want to have status effect immunity on deck. So that's going to be a pretty important thing for you to have, so you don't get screwed over. Especially, like I said, a single target attacker definitely wants to have the Machine gear set on most times. Of course, she has AoE, but I feel like you're not going to be using it as often as you might think. And that about it. Make sure that you guys buy the merch. I mean, oh man, I gotta say it every time. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. A lot of cool things coming to the channel. I promise you, it's gonna be some cool stuff coming to the channel pretty soon. Sometime in September. September is right around the corner. So hopefully you guys look forward to that. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. And just remember that every day at the casino is your lucky day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.